Thanks for staying with us at STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and my guest is Virginia Busch of the Endangered Wolf Center. And right now, we're actually not talking about wolves or Wolf Fest, which we were doing the last segment, but now we're going to talk about some more friends that you've brought with you today and how they kind of overlap with the center's education outreach program. So who do you want to start with? Who I'm holding or who you're holding?
Well, I've got a really active one, don't I? This is Pickle, one of our box turtles. And they're a rescue box turtle, and they want to explore, so I just don't want her to walk off the edge there. But these guys were found, of course, they were rescued, and we have them as ambassador animals because many people don't realize that the animals in your backyard are wonderful for taking photos of and writing down a list that you have and being an explorer that way, but they're not great for bringing them into your house as pets. And this little box turtle was taken in, we think, as somebody's pet. And when you take box turtles out of their environment and you then think, oh, I'm going to go put them back, they're trying to find their home range for the rest of their life. And so they will keep seeking it out. And they can live up to 50 years, if you can believe that. So we bring them to schools, and we teach about native fauna in your backyard as well. And we go to, at the Endangered Wolf Center, we bring them out for meet and greets. But they're just one of those animals really neat to find in your backyard, but keep them there.
That is a really important point to make, because I think a lot of people see turtles and because they're able to pick them up, but that's a really important
Exactly. Well, and one thing is something that I learned. So, and I know you keep wanting to, she wants to move there. If you see them, they want to cross the road. You can certainly point them in the direction that they're going. You can pick them up and put them on the other side of the road. Then they'll keep going in that direction. Just don't turn them around. But that's being a good, environmental steward for them and a good Samaritan.
No, that's great. Now tell me, this is Clay.
Yeah, so you have our cutest little ambassador. We just love Clay. He's a hognose snake. Again, native to Missouri. So you would find these guys in your backyard. And snakes, just like wolves, we're debunking sort of this big bad wolf myth, or with snakes that they're scary or they're slimy. I mean, such a really fun animal, and of course they're not slimy.
Yes,
they're great for the environment. They keep the pest population in check. So, when there's mice or other sort of varmin, then they eat them and they keep us from getting disease. So we talk a lot about how keeping our ecosystem healthy helps people as well.
Yes,
it's all a piece of the puzzle.
Yes. Well, tell me a bit more about your education outreach program. You're saying you will take Clay and some others to different schools. And so when you're there, you're telling them not just about the conservation efforts that you're doing on behalf of with the wolves, but also with other animals. Is that correct?
Exactly. So we segue into wolves, and we talk about wolves in context to how predators affect ecosystems, but all the same, and every piece of that puzzle matters. And so even down to these tiny guys like the turtle, like the snake, they all matter. So the tick population is really bad here in St. Louis, right? If we had a predator like a wolf in our backyard, they would keep that the deer population in check. And so then that actually would have great consequences for us, because then we would have less ticks, because we have a terrible population problem with deer. So we just try to talk about different ways of how you may not think that they are as beneficial as they really are. But then also just how much fun it is to have all this great stuff in your backyard. And if you come to the Endangered Wolf Center, you can just see so many animals. We have 8 species, and it's fun to experience all of them.
And you know what I think is really cool? I will say on your website, I love your wolf cams. Can you tell us about it? I mean, I know what they are because I've seen them, but what people can, if they go to your website, they actually are watching, it's a streaming of your, is that correct?
Yes, if you go to our website, we have several different webcams, and you can experience red wolves and Mexican wolves and painted dogs. And if you log on at night, you can usually hear a wolf howl. So you have to stick around for a little bit, but even in our painted dog enclosure, in the background, you can hear our 45+ wolves howling in the distance. So it's really neat. Again, come out to a wolf howl in the evening. It's one of the most wonderful experiences. I always reference it. It's kind of like listening to history, and it really gets you, and it's just a wonderful thing. And I did that just a couple of weeks ago with my family, and they were so excited. And it's cathartic because you're howling after they howl, and you just get it out, and it's just so much fun.
Yes, no, I remember that from when I was a kid, and it's it's a very sort of distinct memory too, to have that opportunity to do that. Well, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
We've got information there for you on the screen. The perfect opportunity to go and experience the Endangered Wolf Center is at Wolf Fest. It's coming up October 20th. It's all day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. There's lots of things you can get there. There's everything from activities for kids, there's food trucks, as we talked about earlier, animal encounters, rock climbing, canines in the clouds. But best of all, you can go see what the center is all about so you can prepare for future visits after that. But for all the details, go to endangeredwolfcenter.org. And thank you again, Virginia, for being here. This has been great. All right, we're going to have more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.